everybody. Today has been an early morning, fresh morning, and I woke up having a lot of reflection. And also, I feel this is one of the mornings where you receive a lot of downloads, a lot of clearing, healing energies from the divine. And then this is one of the mornings where the sun will come out, and then you kind of feel really fresh. You kind of feel lit up with no reasons in particular. And then so these are the good opportunities to start to do something new, to go out, to meet up with new people, to say hello to everybody with no particular reason, to forget about the past and just to live in the present moment. I think basically this is supposed to be that kind of vibe, more and more vibing into our reality. Is that we wake up in the morning feeling fresh and we feel good first before we kind of have to receive a particular reason to feel good. You just wake up and feeling good about yourself, and you're just basically living in the moment, and then you can just go out and to interact with people, and you're feeling you're less affected by anybody's negative vibe. And then when it comes to the energy, I kind of feel right now collectively there's still a lot of upgrading when it comes to feminine energy, and a lot of people are being forced to face, willingly or unwillingly, their vulnerability. Right? To look at those parts you hide yourself in because you want to always look very strong and tough and unshakable on the outside, and you kind of like hide all those very vulnerable, wounded, traumatized part inside of yourself. But now there's a very strong divine feminine energy. It's kind of penetrating, and to show you that, look, bro, that you're also soft, you're also vulnerable, and don't pretend that you're always okay all the time. And then you just have to show it, however scared you are. And that's the first step. And then second is that you just getting used to it and realize that it is okay to show it. You don't need to feel that you're in a panic, that if you're having that kind of same vulnerability, same softness, just as a girl. And it's all okay. You're gonna be loved. You're gonna be accepted. It wasn't okay. It wasn't being accepted in the past because that was how our society collectively was like. But nowadays, that you can be super soft, and actually softer you are, more you are aligned with your heart, and actually you will receive less resistance from the environment. And it is pushing everybody of us to start to connect with each other, with the soft part of ourselves, which is exactly the opposite like before. Before, I think we kind of like everybody's using the very strong part of ourselves to meet up with each other. It's natural. Even if today a lot of people, if they're still living very traditional way of life, that they are really still looking at each other subconsciously, seeing the other person as a rival, as an enemy. They have to be confront, right? So their energy is always very shielding, right? It is always about I protect myself, this is my boundary, and then either I take something from you or I will be taking something out of me from you. So I have to be very prepared to be strong enough. And this energy is still in the air, right? It is still in the air collectively, but you can already feeling that this inevitable shift that is calling everybody to be softer, and it's telling everybody you have no choice but to be softer. And then when you're forced to be softened, you realize actually it is all okay. It is actually a much better space than you're being very tense and restless and pretending to look good all the time. It's 10 times, 100 times feeling much better than before. So you realize actually you don't really have to feel that you need to be panic. It's only your ego is afraid that, oh my God, I will feel so embarrassed that I'm showing my vulnerability in front of other people because, maybe you're an alpha man, right? In front of everybody, you're supposed to be always strong and confident and victorious and perfect and able to handle any problems with no leakages, right? With no weaknesses showing up. But now you came to a point where there are issues in your life you cannot deal with them with the same manner anymore. It's just not working anymore because the universe is forcing you to face everybody with your hearts, right? With your tenderness, with your sensitivity. Well, before you were pushing all of these areas away because it wasn't needed. Everybody was just on the survival mode, that nobody had time to develop this kind of sensitivity. So now it is the time to develop them, to start to become softer around people around you, to let down your guard, to feel okay, to be soft, to be vulnerable. That it doesn't mean that we're being weak by showing the vulnerability, and to start to open up, to realize that the world is not so vicious, the world is not so harmful anymore. At least we courageously start to look at the world this way. Or in another way, I should say, we start to create from inside to outside a world where we don't have to feel we have to be guarding ourselves all the time. So it takes a lot of courage, right? It takes a lot of courage to shift. I totally feel that being able to be vulnerable actually is one of the most courageous things, right? We think being brave, being courageous mean we have to wear some, some weapons, right? Take some weapons and then go to the war field and be the strong king, the strong hero, and that is being courageous. Yeah, it is in a very masculine way. But nowadays, something probably will need you to be more courageous is to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to show those sides that you are afraid to show other people, right? Like how brave you are to show these parts of yourself, to say, I'm sorry, right? To say, I felt bad that I made that mistake, right? To just be honestly communicating with another person that you do can. Because what I have observed, it is so collectively common that people are hiding their true feelings away. They never say directly what their heart is speaking, right? Even if they wanting to communicate with you, right? Because maybe they feel attracted to you or they're interested in you, but they never say what their heart is speaking to them. They will find an excuse, or they might be yelling at you and telling something bad about you, right? But deep down, it just they wanted the connection. But to the other person, if you don't get his heart, you really would only be communicating through that language that he was using, right? And then you will feel, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Why he was suddenly being so angry with me, you know? And I really want to go away from this person because he was treating me so horribly, right? But then deep down, you realize actually they just want you badly. That's all, right? Deep down, there is a desire. There is a strong affection, let's say, right? The strong need to connect. They haven't developed that ability to communicate from the heart, to let the other person know exactly how they are actually feeling about this person, right? So this is what we really need to work on. It's very urgent, I feel. I think when it comes to this, women are definitely better than men, especially women who are soft, women who are more good at communicating, right? These women, they can be good teachers or good guide for people who don't know how to verbalize their feelings, right? A lot of men, I think, that very blunt, they are very good at working, they are very good at managing, they are very good at being strong. But when it comes to expressing their own feelings, I think a lot of men, they have never learned it and never felt they wanted to learn it. But I want to say it's very important when you want a very harmonious relationship in your life, you need to learn to speak up how you're actually truly feeling, right? So that it makes 10 times easier for two people to understand each other. Because a lot of time, two people very interested in each other, it's never about, it's not about we're not interested in each other. The interest, the attraction is always there. But what is failing, what makes it fail is that misunderstanding. A lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication, right? A lot of a disconnection. And people looking at each other, right? Maybe sexually they're attracted, right? But then it's just silence. It's just forever there's silence. People don't talk, right? People don't even say hello. People don't communicate. And when they're communicating, they're just saying all those things that are not important, right? They're not saying directly how their heart is speaking, right? Because they might feel embarrassed. They might feel their friends are going to judge them or going to stop them. There are a lot of people doing that because a lot of people, they don't have very good intention. They don't want to see two people are attracted to each other. They don't want to see other people being happy together, right? They want to break it. They want to destroy it, right? They're like, if I don't get what you get, and then I'm gonna destroy it, so nobody is going to get it, right? There are so many people are like this, which is really, to me, it was really shocking, and I was heartbroken a long time when I realized how the society is like. But nowadays, I kind of just accept this is a fact in our lives. A lot of people are just not evolved, right? They're just in this mode to want, to grab. And then when other people don't is going to get something that I don't get, I'm just going to break it so that nobody gets it, right? there is that kind of mentality in society. So a lot of people, maybe they're getting scared. They're like, okay, I want to speak up my heart, but I'm so scared to speak it up because I'm already sensing, I'm already predicting what is going to happen is that someone is going to come to ruin it, right? Or someone is going to stop me, or someone is going to judge me, right? So I'd better just not to speak it up, not to break this atmosphere, this normal kind of layer of reality, to make a difference, to create a chaos, right? I'd better just be normal and pretend that everything is okay and just push my feelings down, right? That's why the other person is not going to sense any affection from your side, right? That's why a lot of people, we are just having very shallow sexual connections with each other, right? Because it seems like if you're fucking around, people just don't care. It seems like in the society it's okay if you're fucking around, right? Because this is man's world and everybody has a dick as a man, so the dick should be, satisfied all the time. But when it comes to hard connection, people are not used to it and people don't know how to express it, and people are afraid to express it because they don't think that the society is going to accept such vulnerable expression from the heart. But I want to say, actually, like I've said millions of times before, a real, healthy, healing, committed, long-lasting relationship starts from the heart's communication, right? It's your heart speaks to me and my heart speaks to you. That is the healthy way, and it's the easiest way, and it's the correct way for a man and a woman to communicate. Because men and women very, very different. Let's say men are more lower body based and female are more upper body based. We're just very different and we're complementary. And so far, the so-called relationship that are working in a way is that either the male is kind of converting the female into a male version, right? That's the most common way so far, right? And the other way hasn't been working because apparently masculine is more dominant in a society. So basically all women are being converted into dragon ladies, into tiger women, or into jealousy bitches, right? Only these types of people, right? And it's very rare that you see a woman have never been converted into any versions that is being favored by the male society, can exist in our society, but that it's needed. And I want to say this happens is because we don't know the secrets of a heart communication, right? We think that's the only way the relationship can be working because man and female, we are so different. So we have to convert one person into another person's version. That's the only time two people can match. But I want to say female and male, we are designed different. So there's no need for us to change or become the same. Then it's boring, right? We don't need people to be the same, right? That's why lesbian, that's why gays, right? We don't need man and female become the same. So if any man or any woman is trying to control you, telling you you should behave in a certain way, or energetically they are trying to manipulate you, saying you have to behave in a sexy way that I like, or you have to behave a dominating way I like, or anything, I think that is all wrong. That's like you don't accept the other person different from you. You say the other person has to behave in a certain way before you can love them. I think that is not love, because love is unconditional. Love is you're not going to say, hey baby, you have to behave like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I will give you a hug. Right? That is not love. That is control. That is manipulation. Love is like, baby, you can be however the way you want. You're just perfect. I just love you the way you are. Right? So men and women don't have to be the same. So the question came, so how can we communicate? Right? We're so different. We're fighting all the time. We have different perspective. We see the world so differently. How are we going to live together in a harmonious way? How are we going to live together, right? Happily. So this answer is actually so simple, as I have already said. It's heart communication, right? So if you see the 7 chakras, right? So let's say that men are more good at the lower 3 chakras and female are more good at the upper 3 chakras, right? It's just a general categorize. It doesn't match everyone. But there is a 4th chakra, which is in the middle between the lower 3 chakras and the upper 3 chakras. That's the middle point where it's like a hub. That is like in the middle. It's not too low or not too up. That's where, from my point of view, I feel that's the point where the female and the male are supposed to meet with each other. It's from the heart, right? And when you enter the field of the heart chakra, you feel you're melted into the loving energy, right? Whether you're a female, whether you're a male, it doesn't matter. You melt into the heart's energy. And that's where everybody surrenders to love. And when you surrender to the energy of love, basically, it's just magic. It's all beautiful because in the realm of love, anything is possible. It's just magic, right? It doesn't matter whether we're different. When everybody different come into the realm of love, that is no problem. We all surrender to love, and love brings that solution to everything that seems to be in conflict. This is the magic of love. That's the power of love. So if we have known the secrets, and if both partners or potential soulmate connections can start to work individually toward their heart center more, it's more likely they're gonna bring a successful union, right? When you are only trying to pull your female down into the lower 3 chakra realms, or if the female is just floating up there at the upper 3 chakras and wanting to pull the male up there, I think these are all not balancing. It's not gonna work out, right? Because I think it's beautiful if the male is very much settled at their lower 3 chakra. They're very grounded, they're very, sexually, healthy and alive, and they're very confident. They're very, I think it's beautiful. That's the divine masculine that just make me feel I really want to admire that kind of like a mountain, just sit there and be super still. And this is something I love about males, right? I feel I'm just super surrendered to that kind of energy. But then for the divine feminine, right? She is just super, soft and communicative and very visionary, very spiritual. And that is the beauty of the divine feminine. And I don't think either part need to change themselves and to convert themselves into something different just to make compromises for a potential relationship, right? I think that's what we have failed. We are trying to adapt ourselves, killing the very beautiful qualities inside of ourselves. to match the other person so that we can force that union to happen. But deep down, we've got feelings being repressed. We got good qualities being destroyed. So deep down, we don't feel actually very happy or settled in our relationship. So I think, yes, we can certainly develop those qualities that we don't have through learning from our partners. But at the same time, I think the easiest thing is to everybody move toward the heart chakra energy, right? Everybody start to learn to use the hearts to communicate with one another, to think, to behave, to see life, to set up standards according to your hearts, right? And then everybody's on the same page, because whatever rules we're going to be making, right, whatever actions we're going to be taking, howsoever we're going to communicate with people, and how is it a good treatment toward other people around us or a bad treatment around others. This standard is set by hearts, right? It's not just by your mind or not just by power. It's from the hearts, right? So if you do something, are you hurting this other person or not? You're making this rule. Is this for making people living a better life, making them feel happier, making them feel more comfortable being around? Or you're setting those rules so that everybody can be in control, right? So this is life. This is how you're going to create. From my point of view, I really feel if we want a new world where everybody is happy, we have to create from the hearts. We have to create from the hearts. We have to create from the hearts, right? Because we are so different. There's nobody in this world is exactly the same. We're all different. If you want to set one rule, which is based on the mind, trying to control people, trying to make everyone be disciplined like military soldiers, right? It looks temporarily, it's okay that everything is in order, everything is in control, that we're building an empire. But deep down, nobody is happy because nobody is feeling being cared about, right? So the solution from the heart is that everybody's feeling they're being addressed. Everybody from the heart is feeling being healed, being warmed, being cared about, right? And at the same time, you don't have to force anybody to do anything, because when the heart is being activated, they're being touched, right? They're feeling loved. And then when a person is feeling loved, you don't have to push this person to do anything good in the society. He's gonna do it automatically by himself. This is why human beings are different from a robot, right? He has a heart. He's different, right? So the new world, from my point of view, is a heart activation process. We don't have to force anybody to listen to a particular leader, right? And then this leader is super powerful, and then to control everybody has to do all the things he wants like before. I think it's a slow heart activation that everybody feeling they can be able to be sensitive again. They feel safe to be vulnerable again. They feel they can be warm-hearted again to face the world. And then it is naturally where entirely this planet is going to become a much better world through this process. And then healthy, warm, long-lasting relationship will appear more and more, because it's just much easier to appear, because we are able to genuinely love each other and to connect through the very soft parts of ourselves, right? And it's just beautiful. It is a beautiful way of connecting with one each other. And the magic part of it is it's beautiful, and it doesn't matter whether you are extremely different from each other person, right? It could be a very challenging thing when two people are so different, and then you want to use one rule to govern two different people, and then they'll be telling you, no, you're wrong, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, because I'm a different person, I want different way, right? When people are expressing this kind of excuses, it's simply because they don't feel loved, or they are not loving, right? They are not thinking or communicating through the space of love. Because when you're loved, you just don't care, right? You can be in the most horrible situation, but you just feel happy inside because you're always will be loved, let's say. Right? So if you can expand that kind of romantic feelings, or this kind of feeling loved, this kind of energy, everywhere in our society. And basically that won't be any problem, because all the problems seem to not be a problem anymore. Right? All the differences are not a problem anymore. Right? So this is the power of the heart. So I send all the best wishes and blessings to people who are in a difficult relationship, or who are not able to be with their soulmates, right? Who are not feeling easy to communicate with people all around you. I send all my love and blessings, and I want to say that it is just temporary. This period of time is just temporary. It is because it takes time for people to activate that heart's consciousness. And then the universe is doing that job now, right? It is forcing you to face that vulnerable side of you, and it is doing it collectively. And it's going very fast. You can see every day that people are changing. They might be still complaining, struggling, trying to run away from it, which is natural. But it is a collective energy. It's like a big, big storm, right? Everyone is going to be affected, but affected in a good way. Whether you want it or not, it's just inevitable process of the evolution, right? And then there will come to a point sooner or later that we all realize the better way to communicate is from the heart, right? And that's the point we can start to create magic on planet Earth. And the relationships that was not going to be working is going to be working, whether it is the same person that you're thinking about, or it is going to be a different person. It doesn't really matter, right? Because as long as you can receive the experience that you want, it really doesn't matter with which person. And if it is not with that person, you're with a different person, and your old person is going to receive another woman, and he is going to experience what he wants also. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a good ending for everybody, right? So in this process, now I know we're still struggling. Everybody's struggling. Everybody. Good people, bad people, we're all just purging, releasing all the negativities, all the fear, all the confusion, right? Well, yeah, and a lot of tests in our lives. There are still a lot of tests, a lot of things that could still make you feel you're on guard, you're alert, but always trust that it's going to get better. Howsoever a horrible situation, it's just temporary. There's nothing in life is forever stable. It's always changing. The only thing that is not change is change itself. So even the most difficult thing, challenging situation in life, it's going to pass. It's going to pass. Life is the flux. Right? So when you see it this way, you see that everything is temporary. You're not going to be attached to a result. And then you're not going to expect a result. You're just flowing with that moment. It's not necessary to do anything, to wait for someone, right? Or to plan too much, because you never know what is going to happen next. You just go with the flow, go at the very moment, whatever it takes you to go. And then whatsoever, if it is meant to you, it is meant for you. And then you're just going to get there anyway, right? So always be positive, because your positivity is going to set the tones. When you're positive, when you're happy, even if in the most difficult situation in your life, and then you're in charge, you're saying to yourself, I just decide to be happy, right? So this is self-empowering. Even if the environment is giving you 1,000 reasons to not be positive, you can still choose to be positive, because it is your reality. You decide how you want to look at it, and you have every reason, you have all the freedom to choose what kind of tone you want to set in your life. And nobody, howsoever powerful, they can decide how you want to see your life, right? So this is the starting point. So I'm going to end this video here, and I hope this video has have some inspiring points towards you, and I'm very much thank you for everybody who has been watching this video from the start to the end, and all the best wishes and all the best love and solutions in your life. So I would love to see you next time in my next video. Bye.